Did anybody get to revise last week's shloka? Okay, we will start the class. No, I don't know. People may be busy. We'll just go ahead with the class. Okay. Prabhuji or Mataji, any of you, do you want to read recite the invocation prayers, please?
Yes, Mataji, I would like to recite.
Okay, please go ahead. Thank
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Thank you, Vinita. Now we'll move on to the verses. I want to actually revise a few verses before we go to today's verse. Yeah, we'll start from, I was thinking maybe 1:5. Yeah, we'll start from the 5th chapter of the first canto. Does anybody want to recite this verse, please?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad. Should I recite, Mataji?
Please go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji. Nayad vacha chitra padam hare yasho jagat pavitram praganita karechit tadvayasam tirtha ushanti manasam nayadraham sa niramanti ushikshaya. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody wants to, try the meaning for this verse? At least some words or something will stand out to you? Okay, let's do a quiz today.
Hare Yasho means the glories of the Lord.
Yeah, Hari. Yeah, show means the glories of Hari. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you. Anything else that stands out to you? Okay. Jagat Pavitram. Anybody knows what that means?
Jagat means
whole
universe.
world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah, world purification, Mataji. Jagat is world and Pavitram purification.
Very nice.
Yes.
Tirtham means anybody knows?
Holy places.
Holy places.
Pilgrimage. Yeah, very
Pilgrimage.
nice. Yeah. Hamsa. Anybody knows what's Hamsa?
Swan.
Very
Sorry,
nice.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a swan. Yeah, very nice. So Vacha, Vacho Vegam, Vacha.
Speaking or words.
Words, very nice. So Nayad Vachash Chitra Padam Hare Yasho. Anybody wants to take a guess now of what this is? If the words Hare Yasho, the glories of the Supreme Lord, Na means do not. Okay? Nayad vachas chitrapadam. Chitrapadam means very flowery words. Nayad vachas chitrapadam harer yasho. So if these flowery words do not sing the glories of the Supreme Lord, Jagat Pavitram Pragranita Karhichit. Jagat Pavitram means like, like you all rightly said, purification of the world, Pragranita Karhichit. And it's not doing that also. It's not, helping the common people in any way. It's just flowery words. They are not glorifying the Supreme Lord. And since they are not glorifying the Supreme Lord, they're of no use, right? Jagat Pavitram Pragranita Karhichit. Tadvayasam Tirtham Ushanti Manasa. Tadvayasam means crow. Okay. Hamsa means swan. Vayasam means crow. So this kind of literature is a place of pilgrimage. That's what Prabhupada calls place of pilgrimage for crows. Tad vayasam tirtham ushanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramantu shikshya. So the swans, they never go to these places, right? You see the crow in the picture sitting in all this garbage. But the swan, where does it reside? In Manasarovar, right? Manasarovar, like very beautiful place, ponds with like lotuses and, pure places like that. So Nayatra Hamsa Niramant Yushikshaya. So they actually reside, or they actually go to the upper realms. They do not come to such, dirty or filthy places like this. So that's what it says. So you may use flowery languages, but what's the use if it doesn't glorify the Lord and does not help, in the spiritual advancement of the common people? It's a waste. It's like a pilgrimage of crows. Can you imagine the children, for whatever reasons, even my daughter, like they had to go to Western, education system and read so many books, right? They have required reading and all that. I don't know, all kinds of books other than scriptures. So it's actually a pilgrimage of crows. Okay, anybody wants to recite this verse?
Yes, Mataji, can I do that, Mataji?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yat pada pallava yugam vinidaya kumbha dvandve pranama pranamam samayeshu ganadiraja.
Jai. Thank you. Anybody wants to try the meaning for this verse? From the picture, you can try. Lord Ganesha, what is he doing? He's putting yet pada pallava.
Dandavat pranams to the Lord at the feet of the Lord.
Yeah, yet pada pallava yugam. So at the pada pallava, like the lotus like feet of the Lord, vinidhaya kumbha dvandve. So what he's doing, he's placing his kumbha dvandve. Kumbha dvandve means the tumuli. He's placing on the lotus feet of the Lord. Pranama same. At what time? When he's offering obeisances to the Lord. Sa ganadhi rajaha. Vignan vihantum alamasya jagatrayasya. So what does the Lord do in turn? He gives him the potency. Yeah,
Okay, sorry,
Vignan. Sorry?
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mataji. Yeah.
No, please go ahead. Yeah, if you have something to share, please share.
Yeah, means he's also describing Ganesha like the Lord who removes the vignas, like.
Yeah, Vignan Vihantum Alam Asya Jagatrayasya. So actually the Lord gives Ganesha the potency, Vignan Vihantum, to destroy the obstacles, or to remove the obstacles, Alam Asya Jagatrayasya, for all the three worlds, right? In the material world. So Vignan Vihantum. So he gives him the potency to do that. Who gives that? Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajam. So it's none other than Govinda who gives that potency. And I offer my respectful obeisances to this Govinda Lord. Okay, who wants to recite this shloka?
Mataji, can I recite? This is Mukund.
Yeah, please go ahead, Mukund.
Okay, Mataji. वैष्कर्म्यमप्याच्युतभाववर्जितं न शोभते ज्ञानमलं निरञ्जनं कुतः पुनः शाश्वतभद्रमीश्वरे न चार्पितं कर्म यदाप्यकारणम्. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Can you read the translation to this, please?
Yes, Mataji. Knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of a conception of the infallible God. What then is the use of fruitive activities, which are naturally painful from the very beginning and transient by nature, if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah, Naishkarmyam api achyuta bhava varjitam. So knowledge of self-realization, or Naishkarmya is to actually renounce these activities and the fruits altogether, right? That is called Nishkama Karma Yoga. When you renounce the activity, not only the activities, but also the fruit of the activities, the fruits you obtain from the activities. So Naishkarmyam api achyuta bhava varjitam. You may be renounced, totally given up everything, but if you don't have achyuta bhava varjitam, you don't have the love for, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. So it does not look well. Shobha means to give beauty, right? But it doesn't look well. Even though you may be like free from designations and you may be, devoid of everything material, and you may be on a self-realized platform. So that is what it is, right? When you're on that neutral state, when you've given up all these attachments to the material world, but still you have not cultivated the love of Godhead. So that's the stage of self-realization, like Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, knowledge of self-realization. Kuta Puna Shashvad Abhadram Ishware. So what then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally na charpitam karmayad api akaranam? So if they're not used for the service of the Supreme Lord, then what is the use of such karma? That's what they say in this verse. Very nice verse. Anybody wants to recite this verse, please?
Shall I recite, Mataji? If no one
Please
is
go
there.
ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah. Tyaktva swadharmam charnam bhujam hari bhajan apakvo tapate tato yadi yatra kvabhadram abud amushakim kovarta apto abhajatam swadharmataha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody else wants to recite this verse, please?
Yes, Mataji.
Please go ahead.
त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं चरणाम्बुजं हरे वर्जन् पक्वोत्
Bhajan apakvotha pate tato yadi.
वर्जन् पक्वोत् पते ततो यदि यत्राक्वभावाद्र
Yatra kvabhadram.
यत्र
Yatra
स्वभावद्रं मुष्यकिम्
abhuda mushyakim.
अभूदमुष्यकिम् को वर्त आप्तो
Abhajatam swadharmataha.
अभजतां स्वधर्मतः.
Jai, very nice, Mataji. Anybody else wants to recite this verse? Any other people who want to recite this
Hare
verse?
Krishna Mataji, shall I try Mataji?
Yeah, sure. Bhavna, you can go for the next verse. Okay.
Sure, Mataji.
Thank you.
त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं चरणाम्बुजं हरेर् भजन्नपाक्वो अतपतेत् ततो यदि यत्र क्व वा भद्रमभूतमुस्य किं को वार्ताप्तो भजतां स्वधर्मतः.
Jai, very nice. Tyaktva swadharmam charanam bhujam harer. Anybody wants to try meaning for this verse? Tyaktva means to
Give up.
Give up.
Swadharma means
One's
Follow your own dharma.
duties.
yeah, your own occupation duties. Very nice. Yeah. Charanam Bhujam Harer is referring to what? Charana
God's
means
lotus feet.
Serve the lotus feet of Krishna.
yeah, Charanam Bhujam is lotus feet of whom? Harer. Bhajan Apakvo means what? Pakna in Hindi is what?
Right
When we say, yeah, bhajan apakvo, atha patet tato yadi. What does it mean? Patet, pathanti. We have learned this.
Fall down.
Patanam means falling down.
Yeah, tato yadi. So you kind of got the meaning there. Okay. Tyaktva swadharmam charanam bhujam hare. So you may give up your own occupational duties. And, okay, and take to the lotus feet of the Lord. Bhajan apakvo thapate tato yadi. So you may give up your occupational duties, but you may not take to the lotus feet of the Lord. Bhajan, Tyaktva swadharmam charanam bhujam hare. So you may give up your occupational duties and take to the lotus feet of the Lord. And also bhajan apakvo. You may not be totally, on the level of pure love of Godhead, you may be practicing sadhaka and athapate tatoyadi. But even though if you fall down, even though you're following the path of devotional service and you've taken to the lotus feet of the Lord and given up your own occupational duties and you fall down from that path, yatrakva va bhadram abhuda mushikim. Still, what is the loss? Va abhadram. What is the loss? Amushya, like to that man who has, fallen down from this path of devotional service. And it is compared to kova artha apto abhajatam swadharmataha. So compared to somebody who, who has doing his occupational duties properly, but abhajatam. But he is not taken to the devotional service of the Lord. So somebody may be, perfectly doing the occupational duties and they may not take to devotional service. So that's in no way better than a person who has given up his occupational duties and taken to the lotus feet of the Lord and falls down in the process, or he does not complete his process of devotional service to reach the highest goal. So that's what is being explained in this verse. Beautiful verse, right? Okay, who wants to recite this verse? Bhavna Mataji, please go ahead.
Yes, Mataji. तस्यैव हेतु प्रयतेत कोविदो न लभ्यते यद्भ्रमतामुपर्यदा तल्लभ्यते दुःखवद् अन्यथा सुखं कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररंहसा.
Anybody else wants to recite this verse?
Mataji, can I recite? This is Mukund.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, Mataji. तस्यैव हेतो प्रयतेत कोविदो न लभ्यते यद्भ्रमतामुपर्यदा तल्लभ्यते दुःखवदन्यथा सुखं कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररंहसा. Thank you, Mataji.
Anybody else wants to recite this verse?
Yes, Mataji. I will try, Mataji.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Tashaiva heto prayateta kovido nalabhyate yad brahmatam upari adha tallabhyate dukkavad anyata sukham kalena sarvatra gabiraram hasaha.
So, anybody wants to take a jab at the meaning of this verse? Or any words that stand out to you? Labhyate, labha, anybody know what that means?
Getting profit.
Yeah,
Beneficial.
benefit. Yeah, very nice. Dukkavad, anyatha sukham means what?
Miseries and happiness.
Yeah, miseries or happiness. Very nice. Brahmatam upari adhaha means what?
Brahmatam means wandering, Mataji.
Yeah, wandering. Upar adhaha means what?
Upari
Adho
adha
gacchati.
means top and bottom.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, going up and down, right? Yeah. Kalena sarvatra gabhira ramhasa. This I will give you the clue. Kalena sarvatra gabhira ramhasa means, with the passage of time, tal labhyate dukhavad anyatha sukham. So with the passage of time, what happens? We get both happiness and distress, right? We don't specifically ask for misery, do we? But as the time goes on, we get both happiness. Sometimes we are having happy phases, sometimes we are having sad phases in our life, like that. So tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido na labhyate yat brahmatam uparyada. So tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido. So the intelligent man or the intelligent person must actually aspire for the higher purpose. Tasyaiva heto. For the higher purpose of life, that which cannot be, just obtained by going up and down, like you don't seek for material pleasures of heaven or heavenly pleasures like that, na labhyate yat brahmatam uparyadaha talabhyate dukhavat. So these pleasures and miseries of life, they just keep coming and going by their own accord. So an intelligent person must actually aim for the higher purpose of life. That's what is being conveyed in the shloka. Yeah. For that purpose, persons who are actually intelligent should endeavor, let me read the meaning, only for that purpose of purposeful end, which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet down to the lowest planet. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time, just as in course of time we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire them. So just as we get happiness and miseries, we shouldn't be actually aspiring for sensual pleasures or any material pleasures like that. Okay. Oh, it's the same verse. Okay. Let's do this verse for today. Any volunteers who want to recite after me?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, anyone.
Yeah, go ahead, whoever. Idam hi vishwam.
Idam hi vishwam.
Bhagavan ivetaro.
Bhagavan ivataro.
Bhagavan ivetaro.
Bhagavan ivetaro.
Yato jagat sthana.
Yato jagat sthana.
Nirodha sambhavaha.
Nirodha sambhavaha.
Yeah. Yato jagat sthana.
Yato jagat sthana.
Nirodha sambhavaha.
Nirodha sambhavaha.
Tadhi swayam veda.
Tadhi swayam veda.
Bhavams tathapite.
Bhavams tathapite.
Pradesha matram.
Pradesha matram.
Bhavata pradarshitam.
Bhavata pradarshitam.
Yeah, in this chapter, actually, this fifth chapter, Narada is actually instructing Srila Vyasadeva to actually start his work on Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is when he actually quotes this verse. So in this chapter, a lot of verses, like, when Vyasadeva says that he has compiled all this, Narada praises him that he has compiled very good literature, the Mahabharatam, like that. But still, he has failed to glorify. But still, Vyasadeva is very, upset that he's still not happy in his heart, he's not satisfied, like that. So at that time, Narada advises him that you have failed to glorify the supreme personality of Godhead. And then he follows up, like, with many shlokas, and this is one of the shlokas where Narada Muni is talking to Srila Vyasadeva. Okay. Idam hi vishvam bhagavani vetaro.
Idam hi vishwam bhagavan ivataro.
Idam hi vishvam bhagavani vetaro.
Idam hi vishwam bhagavan ivataro.
Yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhavaha.
Yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhavaha.
Idam hi vishvam bhagavani vetaro.
Idam hi vishwam bhagavan ivetaro.
Yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhavah.
Yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhava.
Tadhi swayam veda bhavams tathapite.
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 Pradeshamatram bhavata pradarshitam.
Pradeshamatram bhavata pradarshitam.
Idam hi vishvam bhagavani vetaro.
Idam hi vishwam bhagavan ivetaro.
Yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhavah.
Yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhava.
Tadhi swayam veda bhavams tathapite.
Tadhi swayam veda bhavams tathapite.
Pradeshamatram bhavata pradarshitam.
Pradeshamatram bhavata pradarshitam.
Idam hi vishvam bhagavani vetaro.
Idam hi vishwam bhagavan ivataro.
Yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhavah.
Yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhava.
Tadhi swayam veda bhavams tathapite.
Tadhi swayam veda bhavams tathapite.
Pradeshamatram bhavata pradarshitam.
Pradeshamatram bhavata pradarshitam.
Okay. Any words stand out to anybody in this verse? Idam hi,
Bhagavan.
yeah.
Yes, Mother.
Bhagavan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Idam hi vishvam,
Vishwam, whole world.
yeah. Yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhava. Does anybody know what this means?
Nirodha, it comes in that second canto, na Mataji, that
Yeah, yeah.
Nirodha.
Yeah, what are the 10 aspects of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? We have learned.
Yes, Mother. Yes, Mother.
Yeah.
Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshanam, Nirodha. I think fifth canto, Nirodha. Yes, Mother.
Yeah. So what does nirodha mean?
Nirodha
Anybody?
means
Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanamutayah manvantranu yeshanu katha muktir
Nirodha.
nirodha ashraya.
Nirodha, Ashraya.
Yeah, so
Nirodha
nirodha
means
is the last step. What happens before ashraya? So what happens at the end of the millennium?
annihilation. Annihilation, Mataji.
Yeah, annihilation. Very nice. Yeah, nirodha means to annihilate or to completely dissolve or destruct, like that. Sthana means what?
Place.
Okay, sambhava
Location.
means what?
Possible.
Yeah, possible, or arise out of something like that, right? So this is creation, this is destruction. So what could this be?
Sthanam is a place, na Mataji. Sthanam, place or
Yeah,
location.
but okay, this is creation, this is destruction, and what's the other function?
Creation, na Mataji. Creation. Sorry.
Creation, destruction,
Creation.
and
Annihilation.
what are the three functions? The three Vishnus do.
Maintenance. Creation, maintenance, and annihilation.
Yeah, so this is, for some reason, I was not sure why, it starts with sthana, maintenance, nirodha, destruction, and then sambhava is like creation, right? Yato jagat
Mataji,
sthana nirodha sambhava. Okay,
Sthana is
tadhi.
basically, yes, Mataji. Sthana is this whatever 14 planetary systems, they are situated in different local. That is the Sthana, Mataji, or it is something else?
Yeah, in this verse, it's actually being referred to sthana is in the sense of maintenance. Like, the Lord he's not only created these planets, but also, he supplies whatever is necessary for these planets for the maintenance. And, he's also responsible for the destruction in the end. like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Mataji.
Yeah, but sthana could mean several meanings, but in this context, okay. I was just, it's good to remember the three things, like creation, maintenance, and destruction. Tad dhi. Dhi means what? Dhimahi. Dhi is the root word for
Dhira means the sober Mataji or no?
Satyam Param Dhimahi. Anybody remembers? Buddhi. Buddhi means what?
Intelligence. Or
Yeah, so dhi is somewhat related to that, okay? Tadhi swayam veda bhavams tathapite. So tadhi means tad, that you know, swayam. Veda is referring to knowledge. Bhavams, you, tathapite. So what actually Narada is saying is, idam hi vishwam bhagavan ivetaro, iva itaraha. So this word ivetaro is a combination of iva and itaraha. So iva is almost the same, Bhagwan is idam hi vishwam bhagavan. So the Lord is, compared, or he is none other than the universe himself or the creation himself, itara, but he is also different, okay? Yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhava. So all this jagat, from whom this world is created, maintained, and destroyed. Tadhi swayam veda bhavams tathapite. I know that, Narada is saying tadhi swayam. You already know this Veda. Bhavams means you already know this fact. Tathapite. Pradesha matram bhavata pradarshitam. So I'm just giving you a clue. Pradesha matram is, so I'm just giving you all the science in, you already know, he's telling to Vyasadeva that you already know all this truth, that the Lord is himself the cosmos, but he's different from it, and he creates, maintains, and destroys it. And you already know, tadhi swayam veda. So you already know this, bhavams, you, tathapite, and that is the reason pradesha matram bhavata pradarshitam. Pradesha matram is in a very small, quantity, or very little, I'm just giving you some knowledge of it. Bhavata, to you, pradarshitam. I'm just giving you, or, showing you just a little hint of, what you should be actually thinking upon. So that's what Narada is actually telling to Srila Vyasadeva. Nice verse, right? Yeah, here are the synonyms and the translation. Anybody wants to read this, please? Let me make it all black.
Shall I read Mataji? Word to word
Yes,
meaning?
please. Yeah, please go ahead.
Idam this, he, all. Vishwam, cosmos. Bhagwan, the Supreme Lord. Iva, almost the same. Itaraha, different from. Yataha, from whom. Jagat, the worlds. Sthana, exist. Nirodha, annihilation. Sambhava, creation. Tathi, all about. Swayam, personally. Veda, no. Bhavan, your good self. Tatha api, still. Te, onto you. Pradesha matram, a synopsis only. Bhavata, onto you. Pradarshitam, explained. Do you read translation, Mataji?
Yes, please go ahead, Prabhuji.
The Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is himself this cosmos, and still he is aloof from it. From him only has this cosmic manifestation emanated. In him it rests, and onto him it enters after annihilation. Your good self knows all about this. I have given only a synopsis. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, there are so many verses, which go on the same theme, like Maya Jagaditam Sarvam, and there's also another verse in Bhagavad Gita wherein he says, everybody resides in me, but still, they're not in me, like that. Even in Ishopanishad, there's several verses, right, which actually describe this inconceivable potency of the Lord. So there's a nice, beautiful purport Srila Prabhupada has given to this verse, and which describes how, when we talk about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are actually, we are actually talking about the absolute truth in all its features. So Lord is not just a controller, but he's the absolute truth. So when we are referring to the absolute truth, that means that he's the Supreme Person with all his energies, That's how a devotee, a pure devotee of the Lord, looks at the Supreme Personality of Godhead in all the aspects, like he's aware that the Lord has an impersonal aspect, and then the Lord has a personal aspect. He's aware of it, that the devotee knows that it, he's not having a parochial vision that the Lord is only personal, he doesn't have an impersonal aspect, or the Lord doesn't have energies or anything like that. So the devotee knows that the whole absolute truth is nothing but the whole personality of Godhead. That's why it's not like just why Prabhupada has given the name Supreme Personality of Godhead. He could have just said God, right? But he says personality of Godhead because the pure devotee of the Lord looks at the Lord in complete, like in a complete form with all his energies and his activities and everything like that. So that's how a pure devotee of the Lord looks at the Lord or understands the Lord. So that's what is being explained in this verse also. Idam hi vishwam bhagavan nivetaro yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhava tadhi swayam veda bhavam sathapite pradesha matram bhavata pradarshitam. So that's how a person must look at the Lord, is like in his complete aspects, not like take just one aspect and say, okay, this alone is Lord. That is not the Lord like that. So that's what Srila Prabhupada explains. It's a very beautiful purport. So please take the time to read the purport. It is, very useful for preaching purposes. This purport, especially to make people understand that, we have to look at the Lord in his complete aspects, like, the Lord and his energies together, and not separate the Lord from the energies and think that the energies, so the energetic gives rise to the energies, but not the other way around. So it's a very beautiful purport. Please take time to read it. And anybody wants to recite this verse now?
Should I do,
May I try,
Mataji?
Mataji?
Bhavna Mataji, please go ahead.
Bhavna Mataji, yeah.
Thank you, Madhav. Idam hi vishwam bhagavani vetaro yato jagatstana nirodha sambhava yadhi swayam veda bhavam tathapite pradesha matram bhavata pradarshitam. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Prabhuji, you can go ahead.
Yes, Mataji, thank you. Idam hi vishwam bhagavan ivetaro yato jagatsthana nirodha sambhavam tadhi swayam veda bhavam stathapite pradesha matram bhavata pradarshitam.
Jai, thank you. Anybody else wants to recite this verse? Advait, do you want to try?
Okay, Mataji. Idam hi vishwam bhagavan nivetaro yato jagatstana nirodha sambhavaha taddi swayam veda bhavam tatapite pradesha matram bhavata padasitam. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anybody has any questions?
Mataji, I have a small question. This sthana here, it is word to word meaning is existent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
It
and while
exists.
discussing, yeah, is it existence and maintenance one and the same, Mataji, or?
I mean, you can actually, existence happens because, it's being maintained, right? Like that.
Yes, Mataji.
I mean, you can look at it as different meanings too, Prabhuji. I'm not saying that, it means one-to-one, word for word like that. But when we say this exists, that means that it is being maintained by the Lord like that. And the purport may give you more insight into, what I was trying to mean by saying that he carries the three functions like that. So.
Yes, Mother. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the question. Yeah, but if you feel sthana is like, exists, like that, that gives you a better hold on the shloka, please feel free to use that. Yeah, if that helps you.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Vinita Mataji, you raised your hand.
Mataji, I just want to try to recite this verse.
Sorry, I couldn't get.
I just want to recite this verse, Mataji.
Yeah, please recite, Mataji.
Idam hi vishwam bhagavan idam hi vishwam bhagavan ivitaro yato jagatsthana nirodha sambhava tadhi swayam veda bhavam tatapite pradeshamatram bhagavata darshitam.
Jai, very nice, Mataji. Anybody else has any questions? Okay, we'll recite this verse 3 times and then, recite the Vaishnava prayers. Idam hi vishwam bhagavani vetaro yato jagasthana nirodha sambhava tadhi swayam veda bhavam sathapite pradesha matram bhavata pradarshitam. Idam hi vishwam bhagavani vetaro yato jagasthana nirodha sambhava tadhi swayam veda bhavam sathapite pradesha matram bhavata pradarshitam. Idam hi vishwam bhagavani vetaro yato jagasthana nirodha sambhava tadhi swayam veda bhavam sathapite pradesha matram bhavata pradarshitam. Vanchakalpatarubhyacha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakote Vaishnava. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Yeah, please meditate on these verses and try to read the purports. They're very, very beautiful purports written by Srila Prabhupada. So these are often quoted verses. So I would recommend that, for each of the verses we learn, we should try to read the purports too. So that'll be great, to understand what Prabhupada is actually conveying in these purports. So thank you so much and meet you all next week. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank